All right. All right, excellent. Welcome to OnSet. I am Daniel Norton. We got Marissa here. Over here, Seth on the Mighty Mix. And today we're going to talk about color, using color in your photography. The main reason why I was inspired to do this, besides looking back at old things, I mean, like I haven't done that in a while, but is I got this Pro Photo light. So we're going to mess around a little bit with a RGB LED, which is not anything new. Obviously, we've been using them for a while, but Pro Photo has got this one now, the L600 something or other, and
it's the L600C, Daniel.
I told him I wasn't going to remember the name. That's why they write it on the side of the lights. But anyways, basically, the besides the fact that you can mount your Pro Photo modifiers on it, which obviously is great if you're in Pro Photo system, this you can operate using the air remote mixed in with your flashes. So that's what we're going to do today. And just fair warning, like many things I do on demos, I haven't actually tried this yet. But the light. Okay, so let's just clear the air right now on this. The LED flashes, but the LED is not a flash. A flash is something different, right? But what it does is it's dropping the power down on the LED so it's not blinding our subject constantly. Then when we fire the camera, it will increase the light. It effectively flashes, right? It doesn't have the true stopping power that actual flash has, so I wouldn't like use this for, let's say if we're trying to like freeze action per se, because I'm not sure what the flash duration, so I don't know any of that tech stuff, so I'm not selling that part of it. But the idea that you can mix it together with the strobe is kind of the idea we're going to work with. But on top of that, we're going to talk about mixing color together, because I think a lot of times we either don't use color at all, right? We just basically light things so they're neutral, which makes sense for a lot of work, or we just like throw a random gel up. And I mean, I'll do it in a demo. I'll just be like, have fun. What color should we do? But let's think about color as a means to create depth and form in our image. So we're going to work with complementary colors. We're going to play around. As I said, this is an RGB. I don't know. It's like WWF or whatever. www. Color. But you know, it's got really good color. But you can basically make it any color you want. But we're going to start off with just simple daylight and kind of get a feel for how this works. Okay, so you know, why not? The best thing to do is to buy a light and then don't use any of the functions. All right, so as I mentioned, this is a Pro Photo L600C. It's a mains powered, that is a battery powered LED light. You can use it for cinema. We can use it for photography. I've got a Shimira mounted on it, a extra small.
It is 3 W's.
www.prophoto.com. Yeah, so the more W's, basically the cleaner the light. That's just the most basic way I'm going to describe it. Come forward. All right. This is Marissa. There are many like her, but this one is mine. All right. We did our first shoot together here in the event space a couple years back. Yeah, she decided to stick around. So what we're going to do first is we're going to establish some power of this thing. Like, again, I have not actually, you're learning with me. Like, this is how I go, right? We're going to basically take this thing and we're going to see. Now, normally with the flash, I'll be able to wipe all the light out in the space. I'm assuming this is not going to be able to make it black in here with all these lights, but we're going to see what we can do here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my settings where they normally are when I'm using flash, which is a 5.6 aperture, 200th of a second, 100 ISO. That generally, when I make that shot, will give us, if we're over in Capture One, a black frame. So basically, what you're looking at is the shot with no light, right? No light be affecting it. But I have this guy right here that we're going to point at Marissa and we're going to flash it and we're going to see if we can get to the point where we can get a good exposure. If not, we will mess with settings, which is, you know, I charge extra for that, but, you know, normally we just kind of stick with the same settings. Listen, I've been the same settings here for like 10 years. It's like, I don't want to change things. All right, so like I said, this flashes. So I'm going to go, it's in my C group. It uses the regular Pro Photo air remote. Eric said he'd be in the chat, Eric from Pro Photo, so he's probably already blasting me now, but not knowing the name. All right, we're going to flash it and see if we can get it. Okay, we're not getting a lot of exposure with that. So let's go in. That's at 5. Let's crank all the way up to 10. We're going to try this a couple of different ways here, and then we'll go from there. This is going to be max power. Okay. Wow. Is it? Oh, it's my shutter speed. I'm not syncing. Okay, hold on. I got to drop my shutter speed.
Yeah. So because it's an LED light that's strobing, the flash sync is it's slower than the flash sync, basically.
There it is.
So the shutter speed actually is affecting the exposure.
Okay, so I don't think we're going to get enough here to wipe out this light here. So we're going to have to lose a little bit of the light in the space in order to make this work. All right, so again, this is one of the reasons why. So this is a hybrid shoot, and this is real talk here. Like, this is it, right? We want to mix our LEDs because there's a lot of utility, but flash is going to, just by its nature, be more powerful. So we have to keep in mind that, actually, is it? I don't think it's syncing. I don't think it's syncing at all properly right now. Hold on. Let me go back here. Let's just do this. I'm going to switch out of the flash mode for a second, and let's just get this thing set up as a regular light, and that way we know we're in CCD. Okay. Oh. Hold on. Let's do this. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm going into, yeah, this is not flashing up all the way. It's not talking to it properly. Let's go here. Let's turn us up all the way. All right, now we can see her, right? Oh, it's in group F. No, it's in C.
Well, you're talking to group F. You're not talking to C. Okay, so Daniel was talking to the wrong group the whole time.
Well, that happens. All right, you guys are the wrong group. Oh,
so
no.
that's why it stayed at 6, because you know what C's set to? Come on.
6.
Are you kidding me? What? 6. Say 6. Thank you. God damn.
Okay.
We're by ourselves here today.
All right.
See that? Now it's at 10. Sorry, guys. It's Daniel's first day.
All right. Okay, so we'll just cut that part out. So, all right, well, let's see. All right, so we have this. Let's take a shot. Hey. Oh, yeah, there it is. All right, pretend that was the first shot that came out of this thing.
We're dying up here.
Okay.
That's a new one, Dan. I'm going to hold you to that.
How did I get down there? Oh, I hit this button. Now I see what I did. Okay. We'll turn F off just in case somebody has an F over here. Okay. I was going to try something. Okay, good. All right, so I just went into TTL. All right, so I dropped down to 60th of a second to sync, 5.6, 100. We are at almost full power here. So this is basically what we're getting, which is fine. You know, we're in a relatively dark space. With these lights here, we can operate. You can see me, right? But you wouldn't want to be standing in the day, right? This is not going to overpower the sun. I know there's a lot of lights out there that seem to make that claim. I've yet to see one yet, but okay. So that's an actual light. So here's the flash. It's working. So now what we can do, since we can use this with our flash, is we can now use our strobes and mix it in, you know? So for instance, let's get a decent shot. Let's have you look straight at me. So I'm just going to come over here and kind of give Marissa a little bit of a side light. Okay. So we're going to get a bit of a shadow. She's looking at me. Again, I'm in TTL. We are shooting at 5.6, 160th of a second. We can see that we have shadow on one side of our face. We're going to bring fill light in. We're going to use the flash to do it. So over here I have a Profoto B30. I closed it so that the thing wouldn't be covered. That's going to set it up so we don't break anything. Yeah. We're going to put it behind me because I'm from the 90s. And like in the 90s, everybody put an octagon behind them. It was like the thing you did. Go start looking at some eyeballs of pictures from the 90s. There's an octagon behind everyone. I think it was a way for photographers to get to the pictures. It was before selfies, you know. He needs room, so I'm going to move. Okay. Shooting in a small space. All right, perfect. This is going to be our fill light. Okay, it's in B, right? Okay, so let's get back into this. I'm going to put the flash in group B. I'm sorry, it's in group B. I'm going to turn it on, and we're going to make a shot, okay? this is probably going to be ugly. Now, if you like this, you probably have bad taste. So I'm just going to say that right now. So don't get excited. Just pretend like you don't like it, even if you do. Okay, yeah, it's terrible. Terrible. No, I saw you. You liked it. Don't. I am judging you. I'm judging you right now. So, okay. This is proof positive that it's not because it's a speed light that the light looks terrible, right? So the reason why flash on camera typically doesn't look that great is because it's so close to the lens, it's just shooting straight forward. There's no dimension to this. She's just flat, right? Now, sure, Marissa's not ugly, but it's still not a great shot, right? The light there is not doing anything for us. But this is what you want your fill light to look like. You want your fill light to be flat because it's going to fill in the shadows. We want it to go where the shadows don't. Yes, Eric.
So that remote controls both?
Oh yeah, I'm controlling both of them with that remote. No extra charge. No extra charge. No, I'm not firing that one yet though. Okay, so we know we want, this one's too bright because if it's a fill light, that's way too bright, right? So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna take it. Oh, I'm gonna use TTL, it's crazy. I'm gonna turn it, this is my B group, I'm gonna turn it to -2. So what's gonna happen here? The way TTL works is, the flash is gonna be like, hey Daniel, here's the amount of light that I need to make it look good. It thinks that looks good, don't worry about it. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's cool. But why don't we turn it down a little bit? Because that's gonna be too much for me. And then it's gonna be like, all right, and it's gonna pull back. There you go, right? Now, it did it still, two under is, sorry. 2 under is still not the right, okay. Okay, so we've lost. Okay, so the first thing I wanna do is try to use TTL. That's the simplest way to do it. But since ProPhoto TTL only gives you down to a -2, which isn't working here for me, I'm just gonna go manual. I know, the comment now, you should have went manual to start with. And I'm just gonna turn the light down. And also because I was in TTL and I probably shouldn't have done this. See, Daniel messed up. Not the first time, nor the last time. When you're using TTL with 2 lights, it mixes the light together. So because I had turned this one on without resetting this one first, the power of this light went down. That's why it looks so flat. Your flash is always gonna wanna make the ugliest, flattest light. You wanna make a nice, shapely, beautiful light. There we go. Okay, so now we have direction, right? And we have fill. I think the fill is not strong enough. So I'm gonna take the fill and we're gonna bring it back up. I turned it way down because it just seemed like it was too much. Okay, here we go. All right, good. We're kind of coming in, we're filling it in. And you can see right there? There I am, right? Self-portrait, selfie, as we say. And we're able to control that ratio right there. So we're gonna use this as a fill, but what I wanted to play around with here was, first of all, why is there so much space around you? Ah, that's why. I was shooting at 44 millimeters. Don't ever do that. 53.5 millimeters is the right millimeters. Okay, so now we get a better shot. Okay. Yeah, we don't want the top of our head in the shot. Okay. All right, so we're gonna add a little color. Now, what I should have done, if I had been smart, is use the LED as a fill light, because that's where I want to add the color. But since I didn't do that, I kind of have 2 options. Do we want to get complicated, or do we want to do it simply?
So much so.
Complicated, okay. So, the simple way to do it would be to put a gel on this light, right? But I'm thinking to myself, Daniel, this LED over here can change colors. So what I can do is, I want to do kind of a warm-cool ratio. I can take my light here and warm it up, right? And then I can neutralize it with white balance, right? So, I'm tripping all over the place here. Dangerous set today. All right. So what we're gonna do, oh my God, okay. Let me get this in a better spot too. This is not a very good spot. All right, put this here. Let's get some better light going on. What's going on here, Daniel? Okay, where you got this in place. If I take this light, right, which is in CCT mode, so color temperature mode, and I turn the color temperature, right now I had it at 55. I'm going to turn it to 32, which is tungsten, right? Incandescent, as they say. If we just do this, right, and we make a shot, let's get rid of the flash for a second.
They're saying to make it more complicated, just change the group, Daniel.
That's true. That's how you gotta do it. All right, we're gonna kill the flash, the proper flash. We're gonna just use the LED, and we're gonna shoot with the tungsten balanced light, but with our white balance set on daylight. So what do we have here? Warm. Okay. That looks bad, right? Everybody agrees that looks bad? Okay, good. I just want to make sure that you're following all the bad shots I'm making. What's that? Okay, off-topic question. Give me 1 second so I don't lose the flow. I'm going to lower this a little bit. I'm just going to quickly change the white balance. I can do it at my camera, or I can do it here in Capture One, which is where I'm going to do it. If I click over in my white balance and I change it to incandescent, right? And take another shot without warning her. Okay, look at the camera, Marissa. By the way, if you're like, let's say you're like shy and you use Capture One, you can just be like, all right, Marissa, look at the camera. Okay, yeah, that looks good. That looks good. I can't see her. And then you shoot it and boom, she looks good, right? That looks neutral again, right? Why? My white balance equals the color of the light that I'm using. It's simple, but yet it's something that we forget sometimes because we use auto white balance. All right, what's the off-topic question?
So someone's asking, speaking of dangerous sets, have you ever been hurt on set physically, not emotionally?
Yeah. So when I was a photo assistant, I was hanging. We were doing something for Pottery Barn, I think it was, and we were hanging this thing on the wall, and they didn't want to spend the money because you got to pay the person who owns the home if you want to put a nail in their wall. So we were putting it up like with gaffer tape, and we were hanging this like metal like sconce thing, and it started to fall, and me, because I'm dumb, I tried to catch it, right? Metal went through my finger, got a bunch of stitches. Guess who paid for it? I did, right? Because I was a freelancer. Don't ever catch things, let it fall. Let Pottery Barn pay for it. To this day, I don't shop Pottery Barn. There you go.
Only Pier 1.
Only Pier 1 imports. All right. Okay, so back to this. We have proper color. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so our color's correct. All right, so now if we add our fill in, basically, which is right here. And now I'm going to kill the main light for a second, because I just want to show you. That was going to be dark, but you see how blue it is, right? That's because this light is daylight, right? Flash is daylight, right? I have my camera say a tungsten. Now, if I turn both lights on, right, what I'm going to get is fill, but my shadows will have a slight coolness to them. Okay, going back to the first shot. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we can see the difference, right? That coolness has filled in and actually overall made the image look a little bit cooler, but also the shadows have that coolness to them. A lot of times people will do this kind of thing when they're trying to create a film look, because a lot of times film emulsions will have like odd colors in the shadows. So I've seen people just very subtly gel their fill lights to get this effect. You can obviously do it. If I had done it correctly, like from the not hard way, I would have used the color changing light back here. I could have made it a little green. I could have made it teal. I could have made it any color I wanted. What color should I have made it? Blue? I did make it blue. Done. All right, I like you. Okay, so this is a subtle way to add a little bit of color contrast to your image. So this is very, very simple, right? A little bit of fill. Now there's other ways to do it, right? You could cool off, again, your fill light, or you could do what we did here and swap the colors, because if you were using all flash, you could have put a tungsten gel on this one, right, to do the same thing. Better, in my opinion, would have been to put a blue gel on this one, but that's, that's me. especially in a space where we're totally in control. Any questions so far? Does that make sense? Yeah. Takes me about 10 minutes to get going. I'm getting old, you know. All right. Yeah, let's add one more light first, because I like this blue tinge for the shadow. I can also use it as a bit of a separator because I have another light over here. Oh, look, just like a cooking show. It's like sitting right here. Over here in oven number 3, I have this light. And we have a strip box. Okay, this is the 1x4 silver strip by Profoto. I think I'm saying all the stuff as I'm going. And we're going to slide this on. Okay, nice. And normally I want to try to just like barely kiss the touch of her hair with it, but I think I'm actually going to give it a little bit more on the side of her face because I want to really show that coolness. So I'm going to bring this up, and again, I'm using everything together here, right? I'm able to control all my power ratios from my controller. And again, just in case you forget, this is flashing. All right. Okay, so here's a trick when you're trying to build something like this manually, but with TTL, if you want to think of it that way. What you want to do is figure out the exposure of each light independently. So I'm going to go in and turn off the LED light, turn off my fill light, and I'm only going to use this light back here. I'm going to turn the modeling light on so you guys can see. Nope. Right? That light. That's the only one I'm using. And Marissa's going to go a little bit this way with her face. Yep. And then we're going to go boom. And we're just going to get a shot, right? That is way, way overexposed because I forgot to go to TTL. All right. Let me go back to TTL. Let me try that again. Okay. Stay the same. Well, there you go. All right, so we can look at this. Oftentimes, if you're using TTL and something's backlit, the exposure will be off, right? Because the light's coming directly at the camera. Much like if you stood out in the sun and the sun was beaming into your lens, it would throw off your exposure, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to use this as our baseline. And I'm in Capture One here. I'm just going to grab my exposure slider, and I'm just looking at the highlights. That looks pretty good. That's about 2 stops. So I'm going to come over here. This light, I'm going to switch to manual. It's set at 8.4. I'm going to turn it down 2 stops to 6.4. I'll make it 6.3 since that's that's an f-stop. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we're getting a little bit of a cleaner highlight, still a bit bright, right? But now we can bring our other lights into play. So now we bring in our constant light. Good. Right? And again, this is warm, right? Warm, cool, right? So there's a little bit of light coming through the window, the moonlight, right? And then I can turn in this fill light just because we're already set it up. Might as well use what we got. And this is looking, and boom, right? So now we've got an image that's got dimension, right? And a bit of a coolness to it. Now, it even seems to me the overall image is a little bit too cool because of all this fill light. I can come in and I can actually, because again, I'm not using gels, I can actually come into this constant light. I need to grow like a foot. I'm just going to put your bag down for a second. Okay. All right, it's in Chicago. All right, so I'm going to come down and bring this down to 2,000. Yeah, well, I don't trust myself. Okay, here we go. Okay, a bit warmer. Good. Work towards the light a tiny bit. Just towards the light, yeah, there we go. Yep. That's right, I wasn't looking at her, but that's okay, I got a feeling. All right, this is nice. So again, now we have this this warmness is now starting to get a bit of a pinkiness to it, right? Because it's mixing with the blue. It's getting kind of a soft pastel color. I think this backlight is still a little bit hot. Hot as far as power-wise. So I'm just gonna jump in here and turn it down to 5.8 at a half a stop. And again, this starts to feel, you gotta feel it out, right? Lowering the power just a little bit. Now we're starting to get, I don't want, bring your chin up a smidge, there you go. Be snobby. All right, hold on. All right, hold that for 10 minutes while I set my camera up. All right, here we go. Boom. All right. Okay, bring your face this way a little bit. There we go. Good. Down. Good. Good. All right. Oh, sorry. I was just doing a little photo shoot there. Didn't see you guys there. All right. So we can see how we're kind of bringing this color in, right? And, you know, subtlety is really the key here. When you're building up your shots and you're doing all this stuff, it's fine to just like throw a bright color somewhere and make it spectacular in a second. But this depth of an image makes it feel a little bit more organic, a little bit more worked on. And I think that will really make the image pop and separate. And you notice too, when you start mixing these colors together, especially opposite colors, the skin even starts to smooth out and feel a little bit more ethereal, which again is great for portraits. Other questions, thoughts, concerns? What's blue? Yeah, what's peachy now? Yeah. Do you want it to be a different color? You want it to be more blue? No, less blue. I can't do anything about that. Okay, so that's not true. I could. What can I do? If you tell me how to do it, I'll do it. Seth knows how to do it. No, that's not it. Okay, so I've already made this as warm as I can, but what's happening is there's a lot of blue in the scene, right? It's all mixing around. Why is that light blue? The white balance, exactly. So I can come in here to my white balance. Oh, I can do it on the computer. And right now my white balance is at 3,000. I can actually bring my white balance up a little bit, or I guess this way. Right? And then I'll start to flatten it out. You see that? See how it's flattening out? And what's great about Capture One is that it'll maintain that, right? It'll hold that. So I'll take another shot of Marissa. She'll look just like that. Boom. No, that's what I wanted. That's my art. Shoulder bright this way. Yeah, and now we can see that we're starting to bring the whole thing. She's a little drunk, but that's okay. But we can see how we're bringing the. All right, let me zoom a little bit too. There we go. Oh, a little double tap. But yeah, and we're starting to adjust the overall feel, right? So, okay, but that's blue and pink. Let's go a little bit more extreme, right? Let's start to push the color even further. And for this, we'll use gels. So I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna swap this light. We're gonna swap the cutter, the separation light for the LED. So we're gonna bring the LED over to the corner. Excuse me, Marissa. I'm just gonna put the strip on this one. I'm just gonna come from this direction so I don't have to do too much. Let me just turn this off so we don't blind everybody. I'm sure you guys don't want to be blinded. Oh, that's F. We don't want to turn F off. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more of a punchier color separation now. So I'm going to take this here. Okay. Off, and I'm going to put this strip on there. So again, the reason why I'm switching fixtures is because that's an LED light, right? Color changing LED, 600R, or 600C rather. The R is the other one. The other one's daylight, so it's D rather, not R. The R hasn't come out yet. You heard it here first. The Profoto 600R.
Oh my God.
Soon to be released.
There's an L600D, which is 600 watt daylight.
Right. And
dedicated. This is L600C, which is RGB WWW.
WW.
Okay. Ridiculous. This point.
Okay, so we've got this guy back here. I'm going to give this a bit of a like a tealy blue color, like go a little bit more extreme instead of a natural blue using the white balance. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to come out of the CTT mode. I know you can't see this, but I'll just explain it as I go. There's basically several modes in the back of the light. We're going to switch out of CTT, and we're going to change into, let's go HSI. That's going to allow us to change our hue.
Have you been at full power on that light?
9.6, so just about.
Okay, so think about that. That's a 600 watt LED in this situation at almost full power. So when you ask like, can my light do this at 60 watts? Think. Okay.
Can you look at me for a second, Marissa? Yeah, I just want to see what the light looks like on your skin. Okay, so basically I'm just adjusting the color of the light. I want to go this kind of almost greenish, bluish. I think I'm going too fast. All right, I'm going to go slow. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so this is going to be like my cutter. All right, so you can look this way now. Towards me. All right, we're just going to do, yeah, perfect. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to come in here with just this one light. Okay. And again, we're going to flash just to get our kind of, yeah, there we go. So you can see we got that kind of greeny blue color. And I'm going to turn the power up a bit. Go back to where we were because I turned it down. We'll go 9.9, never go full power. All right, there we go. So now we're getting a little bit of a kind of an unnatural color, right? Like a bit of a greeny, kind of tealy color. Keep in mind, my white balances will set really low. So let me go to daylight white balance so we can get a true.
I think you ever reset it.
No, I didn't. I'm doing it now. Okay, there we go. This is not as shot.
Oh, you can do it.
Where's shot? Am I just not seeing it?
Hit Apple R.
Nope. Okay, well, we're gonna go, okay. All right, and I'm gonna go over here. And I'm just gonna bring this guy up to, oh, there we go, shot. Okay, but it's shot at 3,000, so I have to go, no, but I didn't shoot at 3,000. We just do something here for a second. Sorry, I'm having like a weird effect in the camera. Yeah, it's staying at 3,000 for some reason. Shot. There we go. I got it. All right, it fixed itself, or I fixed it. One way or the other. I'll take credit. I fixed it. All right. So the reason why I'm doing this is I want to make sure my color is looking the right way. Okay, it looks good. Because again, this is how I'm shooting. I'm not shooting at with the incandescent anymore. I should be shooting at 5,000K, which is what I shoot with this camera normally. Now when we do that, if I were to come back here to this light, right, so let's turn this off for a second. Let's go to our B light, which is this octagon behind me, and let's go to TTL. Nothing fired, okay. Okay, isn't it B?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Is it on now? There we go. Sure. I'm in TTL. I'm gonna bring my TTL up to 0. Get a nice flat shot because you guys like that. I know you liked it. I know you like it. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's terrible. Don't like that. Do not like that. It's terrible.
Made American Apparel successful.
I know. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, if you are going to do this kind of harsh flat light, this is how you do it. But you do it with the expensive 4-foot octa with the white interior. All right. Okay. This is cool, right? But we're overpowering our other light big time, right? We don't want to do that. So there's 2 reasons why we're doing that. One is because of our exposure, right? Our flash exposure is too great. 2 is because I turned it off, so you're not going to see it anyways. But 3 is also because it's going to wrap around. So even when I turn it back on, we're going to see that we're not going to get as much of the green as we'd like. See how subtle that is? We want way more green than that. So this is the thing. Big, giant light, cool, right? Can be soft, can be nice. But what's the problem with putting a 4-foot octa 5 feet from my subject, right? The light goes everywhere, right? Which means I lose the control. And when we're trying to work with subtlety and color, losing control is not what we want, right? So as much as we have this beautiful softbox here, we're gonna put this on a pause for a second and we're gonna go back. Look, there's a light over here. We're gonna go back to a small light source. This is one of the reasons why you'll often see us use smaller softboxes, right? They're big when they're put close, right? Because size relative, they're diffused, but you have control, right? That's how you control it. That's the. Yeah. And you can put a grid on it or something, but a grid's not going to help that, right? Not from where it is, right? I mean, if I put it real close, it would help. Because remember, you're also talking inverse square law, all kinds of science. Okay, so this is A. Turn A back on. We're going to turn B off, right? That's the octa behind me. And we're going to bring this in, and we're going to kind of position ourselves so that we are, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to go this way with it. Let's do something a little different. All right, it's not that different, but it's still different. Different than what I was thinking. All right, we're going to go like this, and we're going to bring our light in. So it's going to wrap across here, giving us some shadow to color. Okay, so again, I'm going to turn off this light. I'm going to come in here. I'm just using the flash. Okay. Okay, see how that is a little bit nicer, right? I mean, the exposure is not perfect, but you can see like the difference between flat and nothing, right? Versus we're creating some shapes, three-dimensionality with it, right? See that, right? Now we take that, we add in our C light, which again is the green light. We come in. Yes, Eric. Did you want to say something, Eric? I thought I saw you move your hand. Or are you waving at me? He's trying to keep me in line. All right, we can start to bring it in, right? So you can see how we're bringing it in here. But I'm going to actually have, yeah, exactly. I'm going to have you work this way, though. Yep, just like that. Okay. So we can start to get it wrapping around and creating this kind of almost skeletal vibe, right? Where we're getting the different dimensions of her face. But what we're going to do is we're just going to slightly readjust the light to get us in a slightly nicer space. And then we're going to start playing with color in our strobe light. So we're going to use gels. So I want to bring this up a little bit just to get, what I want is the light to feel like it's a bit coming from above. Feels a little more natural when you do that, even if it's an unnatural light, right? Same thing here. We're going to take this light, we're going to tip it a little bit. We're going to raise it up, right? This is all about creating a feel, right? This isn't beautifully soft, even light. It's got a little bit of depth and feel to it. Good. Okay, I'm gonna have you go a little bit this way with your face. Nope, this way. There you go. Come back, right there. Okay. What's that? Yeah, I think I was gonna use this as a fill. So now, again, the big octa from the front, right? It can serve a purpose here, right? This light is organic, it's got some depth, but it's also kind of ugly, right? It's got a certain feel to it. It's not ugly in that it's flat. It's ugly in that it's not hitting exactly where we want to hit it. It's not showcasing all we want to showcase. So if we turn on our fill light again in the back, right? And we turn it down a bit. So we just had a little bit of a kick, right? We're going to get a little bit of fill from the front, right? You can even see it on the background, right? We're starting to pick up. So now we can actually see into her eye, right? We're starting to get just a little bit of fill going on there. Now, yeah, that's good. Twist this way. Yeah, there we go. A little bit less. Good. Shut up. Okay. Okay, just trying to see what the light does in different positions. Okay, let's get some color on this other light before I get too deep into this positioning. So I want to do like a warm. You have like an amber? Yeah. All right, you have all the gels in the world. I should have looked at these first. So we're going to put like a bit of an amber gel on here, as opposed to like a CTO. Those can feel a little bit more, a little more intentional. You got something?
Feels like a gold amber.
Okay, gold, amber. It'll be okay. So if you have a gel that's like a little bit too dense, or you think it might be too dense, putting more light through it will lower the saturation. Of course, the opposite is also true. Right, so we have different densities here, so we can put more light through it, and that will lower the density, give us more to play with. If you put a very thin gel on, that's perfect if you really know that's the gel you want. But since we're playing, let's go with the denser one. And I'm just gonna come in here. Yeah, let's tape it. Well, if we have a clip or something, a tape would be fine. All right, so we're just going to tape this over here. Now, again, the modeling light on this is not tremendously bright because it's an LED, and we're not going to have this here all day. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend normally like taping gels to things, because they you know, it could be a fire hazard, but also it can just warp your gels and make them not last that long, right? So it's also a cost issue. Okay, so I'm going to come back around this way actually with this. This way. Yeah, there we go. All right.
So
We're coming back in with our gel.
Dan.
Yep.
So someone's asking, why does more light lower the saturation? I imagine more light would increase the value and keep the hue and saturation the same. It's actually the opposite.
It's exactly the opposite. Exactly. So the reason why is because when you're taking a gel or anything, right? And if you take and you shine a light through it, right? What it's doing is it's taking the light and shifting the color. The more light you have, the more thicker of the gel you need in order to do that, right? Eventually, a thin gel will bleed through with more light. It's just the way it is. It's actually a common mistake with gels. Like people will keep putting more gels on top, but leave their light like in TTL and it stays the same. And they're just like, why isn't it changing? It's because you're basically neutralizing the gel. You want to underexpose a little bit, and you want to make sure also that no other light is affecting the shot, right? Like you don't want to have another color kind of coming in and affecting it, right? We want to keep the gel as pure as possible. That's why you see I'm kind of crossing the lights as much as possible.
Also, if you guys ever overexpose any kind of light source past a crazy point, what color does it turn? White, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that.
Nuclear.
That's
So this is
very
the
nuclear.
Fallout poster. Look at that.
There we go. All right, so
Fallout New Vegas, Marissa edition.
all right, so basically what I'm going to do here is, that's really fun. All right, I like that. I'm actually going to
That gel is called Gold Amber from Rosco, just so you know.
gold amber. I'm actually lowering my exposure because I think I want it to feel like that. Which that was like, it feels like the sun. It's like kind of that end of the day, that last little bit of kiss of sun coming over, right? And now I'm kind of changing my vibe here. I am going to clean it up a little bit though with this one in the front just to balance it out. I'll show you what the difference is, right? So this is the gel saturated with no light infiltration. If we turn on our front light, right, our flash, it's going to soften down the gel a bit, right? And it makes the whole thing a little bit more tame, right? You see that? See how I did that? Same thing we did before, where it started looking more kind of pastel. That's exactly what's happening here. So we're getting the full saturation of the gel, but because we're filling in, we're getting this pastelness with it.
Someone's asking, because you're at a 60th of a second, would there be some motion blur?
Would there be motion blur at 60th of a second? Only if she moves.
Actually, the reality is she'd probably have to move pretty fast to get it to really give you some.
There you go. So yeah, there you go. If you like that, or you want to move the camera, you can. And you know, sometimes, believe it or not, there was a time before everybody like zoomed into every pixel when they took a picture that sometimes a little bit of softness in a portrait was something people would do. They would shake the camera a little bit, you know, with slower shutter speeds in this case. So it can definitely be something you can play with, you know. But yeah, you definitely 60th of a second. I would not like shoot her jumping up and down because I feel like she'd probably have motion blur. But
well, the other
for a
thing
standard
is,
portrait, she's fine.
if you look at the blurry shot, the modeling light is still on the strobe, so that light is making the exposure to cause the blur.
That's true. Yeah, you can kill the modeling lights. Good point, Seth. Thank you. I'm going to come here and change this light a little bit because I don't know that I love the green. I thought I was going to like that green color, but now I'm getting into this kind of like almost like I want to go almost like monochromatic with reds. So I think I'm going to actually go straight warm, which I wouldn't normally do, but I'm feeling it. But I am going to do one thing before I do that. I want to come in and I want to, now this light, this green light is almost maxed out, right? So we're not getting that much power out of that light comparably. So I want to bring my whole exposure down a bit. So in order to do that, basically I'm just going to bring my ISO up. I know, I don't normally do that, but here we are. And what that's going to do is it means I have to then go in with these lights, because I'm in manual, and turn these down. So I'm going to take this light here, and it's on 3. I'm going to bring it to 2. Because again, one stop of light. And this one back here is at 5. I'm going to bring it to 4. And what that should do effectively is make our green light brighter, but keep everything else looking basically the same. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
She got drunker.
She got a little drunk there, but all right, that gives us a little more to play with. Slide back this way, but perfect. Yeah, good. Okay. Now I just want to come in here and sure about this green. I was thinking green was going to be a really good color today, but I don't know. I don't tend to like green on people's skin, so I guess I should have known that.
So one of the things that you're going to find also that they don't really talk about shooting in color, it changes the vibe of what's going on set for your model's headspace and the way they're going to portray themselves to camera usually. It's like more somber. It's a little not natural, not organic. Their headspace will actually change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have music playing, you have different colored lights, you have a different shot than pure daylight. You know?
Exactly. When you go to the discotheque, I do. I love discotheque. All right. I think it's technology of like, yeah. I don't know, technology or something.
The ancient Incas.
Why is there a shadow there? On her back. Is that just where the...
It might be that way.
Yeah. Hey, can we kill that for a second? Can we kill that for a second? I just want to see if I can get rid of the shadow. Got a little bit of shadow on the background that's picking up again because of our exposure. Remember, I brought my ISO up. That's going to affect everything. You know, every time we're here, we talk about the black frame and all that other stuff. But as you start messing with things like your ISO, yeah, you see there was a little bit of the natural light affecting us in the natural light, the light from the ambient in the room affecting us. But to be honest, it didn't bother me until I started seeing shadows. It was just a tiny bit.
Show it.
Yeah. So, you know, so here we are, you know, you can see the whole thing's a little bit, tiny bit lighter on her face, right? Not a huge difference, but definitely there, right? But this is really what I saw was this shadow back here. Yeah, right by her shoulder line. I just hit something. What did I do? Hold on, what did I just do there? Cancel, reset, adjustments. There we go. Right here. Yeah, and also there. Yep, here. But also here is what it was bothering me too, the softbox. This now is a vignette, right? This is actually a straight line. You see the difference? So basically what we're getting here is we got to be wary of the light in the space when you're working with anything that can't completely eliminate it. Why am I echoing all of a sudden? Okay, questions? Does that make sense? I know, like, yes. How do I correct for a fluorescent? A fluorescent light's in the background, you're saying? Yeah, so if you're in a space that has fluorescent light, right, that you're talking about. So let's say you're gonna go shoot in a hall somewhere for like a reception, and they've got ugly fluorescent light in the space. You basically have two options. The one option is to gel your light, assuming you're bringing lights, right, obviously, to the fluorescent, and then do a custom white balance, or more likely, you will just bounce a flash off the roof these days, because you know, that's what most people would do. But otherwise, you can put a fluorescent filter on your lens, which will kill the fluorescent, right? And then you'll have to gel your flash. They used to sell these Stopen. They were like these little green-ish colored things you put on top of your on-camera flash that made the flash fluorescent color, right? They're in the $3 bin, right? And then you put a fluorescent correction filter. To be fair, today shooting digital, I probably wouldn't worry too much about it. Most fluorescent lights are much cleaner than they used to be. Really, your bigger issue would be flicker if you're shooting video. If you just got a little bit of green from it, you could probably just pop that out in post. Like I probably would not worry too much about fluorescent these days, but you know, have you hit much fluorescent lately that's really throwing you off? You know, I mean,
If it's older buildings or if you're shooting film, there's a lot of people still shooting film, right? Still,
well, are you shooting film? Oh, well, there you go. Yes, that's how you would do it. You need a fluorescent filter.
you need an FL filter.
So you need an FL filter on your lens, and then you have to gel your flash. But no matter what, you need to flash. If I have somebody here, and I'm in a room where the fluorescent light is kind of ugly, and I hit them with the flash should clean them up. The same way that when I put this light here, right? Like, right? I have all this color light. If I take this front light and I turn the power, oh, nope. I'm going to shoot it in a second. I'll take this front light and let me turn the power up significantly. We'll take a shot. Right? And what we're going to see is, right? Do you see much of that color light? No, right? Because my exposure is based on this. So that's what you got to do. You either have to color your light to match the room and filter the lens, or you have to overpower it with flash, which is what we just did here. Yes, you still get a bit of color. In fact, now, I remember I said this was ugly before. I'm kind of liking the way this looks all of a sudden, right? Not so much the direction of the light, but that weird kind of pasteliness that we're getting from this fill light. So we're going to experiment a little bit because, you know, why not? I get paid for this. All right, so I'm going to turn the light down to 5.5. You know, it was at 6 before, 6.7 before. I want to darken it up a little bit, okay? Now, we're going to fix this position, right? The problem with this flash is that it's position, it's flat, right? So if we just come over here, oh boy, or have Seth go over there and move it forward and up like this. You can't get it from that, Seth? Oh, I thought you could get it from over there. All right.
You want to fly it?
I want it like here. But it's closer to.
All right.
All right. Okay, yeah, a little tip. Yeah, there you go, perfect. Yeah.
How far over the camera do you want it?
No, keep coming, yeah. Yeah, you can come closer. Yeah. So what we're doing here is we're creating a better direction of light, right? Yes, exactly. No, I think that's good. So the light's coming from above, so it feels natural, right? But it's also, thank you, it's also slightly angled, so we had enough light in front of her. Now we did move closer, so I have to use the inverse square law. And no, I'm not in TTL. I could do TTL, but I'm going to use the inverse square law, and I'm going to go down to 4.4. Right? Yeah, there we go. So now,
You're welcome.
yeah, that was amazing. Thank you. So now we have this color. Look at the color on her, right? All this color, but it's not super in your face because my flash. Thank you, sir, for that question that inspired me to do this. And cleaned it up, right? This is called, whenever it's like, I'm going to use flash to clean it up. That's what I'm talking about, right? So right here we can see the orange, right? Right here we can see the pink. But I'm hitting it with enough flash that her skin tone overall looks correct, right? She's just in the space, and the color is drawing you in and making the skin look interesting, really.
Essentially, the neutral light will be your anchor. Everything else is supplemental. Perception-wise, there's actually not a lot of neutral light in that, but it's enough to anchor us down, right?
All right, so we're just going to shoot a few. Just, you know. Whenever you're shooting, you have to never look through the camera. Just kind of look over here, hang out, you know. Yeah. I should have looked through the camera because I don't know what she's doing over there. What are you doing over there, Marissa? No, yeah. Okay, good. Boom, little fill light. Oh yeah, there we go. The old reflector trick. Now, what's important here, did I just go through puberty? Did you hear that? If I want more saturation in this light, I'm just gonna have to hit her more with it because it's just kind of going past her. Okay. There we go. And you can see that we're just starting to like neutralize, right? Thank you, Seth. All right, so again, all this matters, right? You can come in with clean light, it might look wonderful. You can come in with flat light and that might be fine. But when you're trying to take a subject and shape them and create dimension, we can use all these different techniques. The position of the light, the distance of the light, the color of the light, the size of the light, all this matters. Even the white balance, right? You literally saw me change white balance today. And my ISO. I haven't done that in like 7 years. So, all right, question in the chat.
Someone's asking, is it true to smooth out skin tones for black and white only to set the lights to 3200K, which is tungsten?
I don't know if that matters in digital. Have you seen that happening in digital?
So
I mean, in film, the reason why is because black and white film takes up skin differently and the reflections of light. So a little bit.
What it actually does is it neutralizes things like freckles because you're making everything orange. So you're going orange to take all that kind of stuff out. So any type of stuff like that. But I actually go the other way to get more of it to come out in black and white.
Yeah, when you used to buy filters for black and white, there was it green? There's a couple of them are like, never use this for a portrait. That's always what I used. I want to bring that texture, that depth out of the skin, because that's what I think is more real and I think is beautiful.
Green filters for black and white actually work really well with men with beards. It just has, there's something about the way it actually works a lot on foliage.
Yeah, it's for foliage.
So it works on beards like to really bring out a lot of detail out of it.
Yeah. Everybody's shooting film now. We're going to have to start shooting film. We'll have to get a mini lab over here and be developing as we go. Okay, and we can see depending on where she turns her face, she's getting more or less of the clean light on her face, right? You can play around with that. That was kind of what. Yeah, what I'm saying, the clean light. Step this way. Oh, you just turned that on. Okay, that probably matters. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely making a difference. All right, cool. All right, any other questions? That was a good question, though. Yes.
LED light, that's strictly LED.
This is an LED. This is an LED light from Pro Photo. It's a RGB www.com. It is flashing. That's Pro Photo's air mode. So basically, if we didn't want to use the air mode, let's say that you're like, oh man, I don't use flash, you know, or you don't want to use it for that. What we can do is take it out of air mode. And what will happen is, let me walk over here slowly and dramatically. Basically, it won't flash, right? So effectively, you go like that, and did you see how it got brighter? Now the power setting of the light is just strictly the power setting of the light, right? It's not going to flash, and I can control the light power like that, right? So you can see it's brighter just by its nature. So why would I want the flash, you know, as opposed to this, which is effectively the same thing if you think about it? The reason why you might want the flash is because, especially if you're using it as a key light, it might be in the model's face, right? And a lot of times really bright lights in somebody's face can really bother them. So I think this would be really nice for that. Also, if you're just used to working in the flash environment and you can kind of think that way, I think that'd be useful. I think it's a cool feature. I mean, since I'm a pro photo shooter, you know, by nature. Right, it's basically just going to that, right? So you saw it jump up, that's the flash exposure. So if you were just doing video or you were just shooting, you know, something constant, you could just leave this on. In fact, if we just do it now.
You also could shoot it while it's constant in video. And then let's say you want to shoot stills, throw in the flash mode, take your ISO down, clean it up, make it a crisper image for stills. So
yeah, so there you go. So that was, this one right here is the flashing at full power. And this is when I went to regular mode. It's the same, right? The main purpose of the flash in my mind, and Pro Photo may have, there are other reasons for it, is to keep you in the same environment of thinking and also to not be so bright in somebody's eyes when you're, I think that's really the key here. It's not really flash in the sense it's a flash. If they could make multicolor changing flash, like actual flash tube flash, that would be amazing. But that's something we're not going to see probably for a while. Seth's going to invent it and become a millionaire.
Invent that and white shirts that you never have to worry about stains.
Right. The stainless white shirt. Those are his two inventions he's working on. Okay, but you can see already how much brighter that is. So you can see that could be, for some people, might be an issue. So that I think is really the reason. I mean,
Especially if
in
you're
my
doing
mind.
an all day thing.
Yeah. And there's probably more heat when it's running like this as well, I got to imagine, you know. So that's why. But that's it. It is basically an LED. It can do all your different colors. There's a whole filter set in there. So if you like Lee filters or Rosco filters, like we just put whatever the filter you just told me that was, I could, if there's a Lee equivalent, I could dial that in. And you can also set it to be either tungsten or daylight as your base, so you can match other things. So it's pretty cool.
You also could let it go into things like disco mode. I'm not making this up, and it'll cycle
Yeah.
through colors. Every shot you take, you don't know what color is going to hit, right?
Yeah, but
And
you
so
gotta-
if you
you
did
have
that
to
on
go
the
like this, though.
background, you have different background every shot. You know, there's reasons, but it's not like, you know, I have to deal with this. Is 15 years I dealt with this. I just want you guys.
It's been a while since I've been to a disco, but that's what I remember it sounding like. WWW, yeah. It means it's got more white, it's cleaner.
So
Think of
in
it like
short, all LEDs are not created equal.
Right.
There's color spectrum, there's fidelity. When you have RGB, you have RGBW, you have RGBWW, you have RGBWW. Some of that is actually it having a certain amount of output when it is white light, or how much fidelity you get when it's white. Some of them are white, but also a warm white mixed with a normal white to make a different type of. So there's always something to them. Believe me, marketing. Yeah. All right, marketing.
There you are. Now you're just orange again.
All right, we're in a dark.
All right. Okay.
Netflix.
Thanks so much. We are, thank you, Marissa. Marissa Dot Roper. Not just straight Marissa Roper, Marissa Dot Roper. Not the other Marissa Roper is okay, but this is the best Marissa. That's Last Sex Witness. The X is silent. I'm Daniel Norton.
Okay.
Subscribe to the.
Oh, you want to? So this thing, subscribe to that. I feel like a
Yeah,
weatherman. Okay. And happy birthday, Marissa.
Marissa's birthday.